Good afternoon, Dean Davidson, LiveWeatherBlogs.com meteorologist here. We're looking at severe weather outbreaks, an outlook on the severe weather outbreaks that's going to be upcoming for the Midwest, and it will project some severe weather towards the towards the East Coast, and we'll go through that. We're talking about today's outlook. We see the probability of severe weather will be in Texas, Oklahoma, and parts of Arkansas. This will start up probably this evening, and it'll go overnight. We could have hail and high winds, the majority of what we're going to see today. Tomorrow, on the other hand, we're going to transition. We're going to transition into a lot more of a tornadic probability. You go back here to the, there we go. We have moderate risk already out, and this is a day out, over a day out, which is pretty significant. We're probably going to go to a high risk in this area, which will include parts of western, like Memphis, parts of Arkansas towards Little Rock. This area is under moderate risk, light risk. Everywhere else, this will be for tornadoes, hail, and high winds. Tornadoes will be a threat coming into that, and severe weather threat goes straight into Paducah, goes into Nashville, goes into the areas such as north of Jackson, back to the towards Dallas, not quite Dallas, but back towards Dallas. And we could still see an isolated storm there. Hail and high winds and tornadoes will be a threat. This is going to be the first severe weather outbreak we're going to see. An outbreak meaning more than 10 storms that cause a ruckus. Now what's going to happen is it's going to project itself even further to the east, to the East Coast the next day. Anywhere that you see, like, put over Roanoke, Lynchburg, Richmond, as far north possibly as southern Delaware, we're going to look at that projection for severe weather on Friday. We have enough heating in the atmosphere. This is going to mainly be a squall line or a straight line wind threat. Isolated tornadoes can't be ruled out. But there is a threat going into Friday night in the area. Not Thursday night. Thursday night might be, Thursday night and Friday morning maybe, or midday during the day, maybe Roanoke and Lynchburg time frame. Stuff we're going to keep an eye on. We're going to keep looking at it, looking at the data, and see how it all plays out. But let's be truthful. We're going to definitely see the severe weather breakout tomorrow in the middle and western United States. Let me show you an outline that I made. Zone 1. Zone 1 is the threat for today. That's your threat for today with severe weather. And Zone 2, which is the fuchsia, which concludes Roanoke, that area is day 2 into day 3, and day 3 further to the east. You see how I projected it to the east. There's your severe weather threat for the next 3 days that I've drawn off of the Storm Prediction Center maps, where I see severe weather being a threat. Looking at your soundings, you do have some changing with wind direction with height, and it does increase with height. So, that being said, there is a probability there for rotating thunderstorms. Freezing level is about 13,000 feet. This is in eastern Texas. So, there is where we're looking at that coming into here, and that's the 850 lines right around there. We'll also have the hodiograph, which is not in the screen, but it's looking good for at least high wind and a good possibility of some rotating thunderstorms. Like I said, these are going to look a lot better transitioned and have a much more distinct look tomorrow when we do this. But here's your next one. This is out of Arkansas, Little Rock. You can see there's some low-level shear available here. All right, let's take a look at some more data. I'm going to take a look at your wind direction with height, and I'm also going to look at your cape. In the next 24 hours, you can see lifted indexes here are -5 to -6 in Oklahoma. That's going to be very good projecting for some lift in the atmosphere to get these thunderstorms going. And with some cape values that are going to run marginally around 15 to 1600 to start off with, you're going to have enough lift to get these thunderstorms going. A little further to the east, you got more shear, but you also have some shear in the area that we were looking at for the lift. So we're going to have that probability of rotating thunderstorms. Better rotating thunderstorms could occur eastern Texas, and then it will expand into Louisiana, Arkansas, up through Tennessee as we go later in the afternoon. Dew points into the 60s? Yes, indeed. 60s and going towards 70 in some of these areas. That's going to be good for some moisture content. So you're going to have the moisture, the lift, and the instability, along with some shear, and you're going to have some probabilities of tornadic thunderstorms. Texas, Arkansas, towards Memphis as we go into the day on Thursday. Here's the reason I also have that risk here in the Roanoke Valley in that area. Look at this. We have the low pressure system up here near the Maryland, West Virginia, and Southwest Pennsylvania area, and we get that 60 dew points pushed into the Roanoke Valley. You're also going to have a good southeasterly flow. You see with the low-level jet coming in from the south. This looks good for severe weather. It's a good omen for severe weather when you see this. Here's another issue. Look what we got with southwesterlies. Remember, south was the low-level jet. Southwesterlies is where you're getting the winds from the upper levels. So that is a little bit of a turning with height, and it's good shear levels here along the Blue Ridge Mountains. So, that being said, if we get a squall line going, we could get some rotation also with the strength of the low, the lifting coming from the cold front, and the fact that we're going to have all this wind available. The question is, how much lift is going to be available? And this is a little further out, so it's not counting being good. You don't get all the data you want out of it. But if things come together correctly, North Carolina, Virginia, down to South Carolina, and Georgia could see around the severe weather Friday, Thursday night and Friday during the daytime. So keep your hands up, keep your head up looking, and watch out for the possibility of severe weather, because it could occur. And just by what I'm showing you, it should give you a red blinking light. Yes, the Cape values will not be as significant, but this would be a scenario, once again, where you're talking about low levels, low top severe weather. And with those, you don't need a lot of Cape. When you get the shear values and when you get the moisture content with a little bit of lift, it can do a lot. So there you go. We pushed tomorrow in through Friday with severe weather threat. With that being said, I'm going to let you take a look at that chart we had yesterday. Take a look at that chart. Do some checking. Do we have this available? Like I said, when you get in the Midwest, it's a little different when you have on the East Coast this time of year for severe weather perimeters. But severe weather is likely in the Midwest as an outbreak and possibly a wind isolated tornado threat for the eastern United States. For liveweatherblogs.com, this is meteorologist Dean Davidson. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you tonight for an overnight outlook.